Hey girls, so over the weekend Beck sent Karina Kaboom some voice notes answering just a few questions the community has had for them for a while. And Alexis put out a very telling video where we see just how she feels about her former BFF Amber.
How I'm doing now, I am doing very well. I am extremely happy. I have a life completely different than the life I had the last time I talked to you guys. It's almost like, you get that feeling where you just want to up and leave and start over. Well, that's kind of what I did. And I up and left and started over, and I'm engaged to the love of my life, and I am happy for the first time in a really, really long time. And it's nice to wake up and not feel so depressed like I used to. It's a great feeling to feel like life is mattering, and like what I'm doing, what I'm going to work for matters. As far as healing and recovering my self-esteem, yeah, I do feel like I am healing. I still have a hard time with, my mom, especially, it being not too long ago that it was the anniversary. And from everything in my past, I've definitely already healed from it. Like, none of it hurts anymore. I'm completely over things. But as far as my own self-worth and self-esteem, that still is a deeper issue that has stemmed from childhood that I'm still trying to work on. But, tell us about the new girlfriend. I hope she treats you well. I will tell you about my fiance. She treats me very well. She treats me the best I've ever been treated in a relationship ever. It's actually kind of culture shocky in a way that, I didn't know that I could feel the way that I do as strongly as I do. It's definitely a very nice feeling. And it's definitely nice to feel like I deserve her. And she does. She makes me very happy. I'm not surprised about things that are coming out about Amber from her ex-friends and ex-partners. I know what I experienced the 3 or 4 years we were together. I know what my family was put through. I know what they still have talked to me about. I know what happened with my mom, and what it did to me and her, and I know what it did with my sister. She's blown it with everybody else since, and I figured she would try to learn, but it doesn't seem like it.
Nope, in fact this is how Amber has been responding to all of this. Tommy and Amber are now co-posting on Instagram, with captions like, "Unbothered by the noise, we're too busy creating our own happiness hashtag I like me better when I'm with you." Posting pics of them in the Jeep Tommy surprised Amber in, the first and only time they've met in person, and gushing about how in less than a week they will be reunited again. And by the sounds of Amber's last live stream, both Amber and Tommy want to be in front of the camera together, so that should be interesting. Oh, and yes, Amber has yet another new IG handle, and it's Hectic Ambi.
When did I realize you needed to end things with Amber? What was the final straw in the relationship? There was one day where she had started pretending to be me in text messages because I had a group message with Eric and Ricky that we had had for years. And we had it long before I'd even known who Amber was. And she was mad that she wasn't added to that one, that she had been added to a new one that we created for all four of us. And so she was pretending to be me, asking for her to be put in our old friend group one from years ago. And they automatically knew that it wasn't me, but they could tell that it was her. And me and her just got into a big argument about that. And it was so bad that we just ended up going to sleep. And we went to sleep for a really long time. And when we woke up, we started fighting again. And then I ended up going to my family's that weekend. And that's whenever I decided that I didn't want to continue being in this toxic relationship anymore. That I know I was so worried about what would happen to her, who would take care of her, who would take care of the animals. That's why I stayed so long. I guess it also tied into my trauma of just needing to feel needed. And I think that was also why I even stayed, because I also just felt like this person had nobody else. And I didn't deserve better. So that's why I stayed as long as I did. And I realized it was unhealthy, that it was doing neither one of us any favors, and that she should move on and hopefully move on, go live with her mom, or, whatever she needed to do. And I wanted to move back home. I wanted to be with my family and my friends and live my life. And What do I think of Amber calling me money hungry and trying to capitalize on my live streams? That's what she was doing with me, like, the whole time I was being used for live streams. And that ties into the next question. Did I ever get paid from the live streams I did with her? No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Because she said that all of that money had to go toward all the bills. I don't even know how much she got. I have no idea. I don't even know how much I was supposed to get, if I was supposed to get half. I have no idea. I was just told, you do these live streams with me, you'll get money. But then she was like, you got to pay bills. So no, I didn't see anything from it. I think whenever we broke up and I moved out, I think she gave me like $100 to $200, and that's how I ended up getting the U-Haul. I think something like that. No, I'm definitely not money hungry for trying to do my own live streams. That was just, I became so depressed I couldn't even work anymore. And my sister and Logan had to take care of me, and they were the only ones who were there for me during that period of time.
Well, apparently Beck's fiancé has been commenting, trying to find some legal help for Beck regarding the money they are owed from those live streams. It says, Beck has reached out to a few attorneys. If anyone has any advice or insight/additional evidence etc., I can provide my email to send that info to Beck. They really appreciate the support they're receiving and they're feeling ready to fight for what they're owed. I'm behind them in this all the way, but I've never dealt with this kind of situation, so all I can provide is emotional support.
How has Amber manipulated you? What did she say to get you into the relationship? Well, I wanted to start off very slow, and I was, but I was moving too slow for her. So one day she was just like, there's a line of people who want to be with me, so if you're not going to be with me, then you need to leave. And I didn't want to lose that friendship. She said she wasn't interested in being friends, and I didn't want to lose the friendship. I was enjoying hanging out with her and getting to know her. So I just rushed into it. I was like, okay, fine, we'll be in a relationship. And it was just like, after that, I felt stuck and obligated. And like, she definitely made it known to me that she did not have anybody else, that I was all she had. Said that Eric and Ricky still talk to Amber. Did Eric have a convo with me about this before reaching out to Amber? To be honest, we haven't spoken in almost a year. And whenever I became really depressed, I isolated myself, and they got upset with me for doing that and not texting them. So they stopped talking to me. And so I never tried to fight for that, because that had happened other times before where they would just stop talking to me and I would have to beg for them to talk to me again. But I would go through bouts of depression and isolate myself from everyone. So, I mean, it wasn't like I was doing it to them, but...
If you haven't seen my video titled Beck Opens Up About Their Worst Year, I'll link that above and below, but in it you will see just how out of it Beck was for a long time. I couldn't imagine going through something like that and having my best friends not only not reach out to me, but then getting mad at me for not texting them and in turn completely ignoring me. We thought they were just bad friends for continuing their friendship with Amber after how we saw her treating Beck in the live stream era, but as it turns out, they're just shitty friends overall.
Yeah, we don't talk. We had that a little falling out there. So whatever they do, I really don't care what Amber does either. Well, I've talked about why Amber and I broke up, but there were other times where we tried to break up, and it was me trying to break up with her, and she would argue with me and beg me and exhaust me until I would just give in and stay.
I don't want to admit this, but things got so bad that there was a moment where we almost broke up. Mm-hmm. It just seemed, it was like this, it was just a scary time in every sort of way. Amber, that makes it sound like you wanted to break up with her for being sick. No, she wanted to break up with me. Yeah. And I said, no, I'm going to be here for you. I'm going to stand by your side.
Yeah, it was me. I tried to end it.
Because her brain was not working, and I said, nope, I'm not having it. We're going to stand together. She wanted to deal with it alone, and I said, I'm going to be right by your side, and it's not happening. And then she proposed.
Like, we had no business getting engaged, but, she ordered the rings without me knowing and was like, these are the ones I want you to propose to me with. So I did, and I felt pressured into doing it. I didn't really want to do it, and I don't think she really wanted to do it either. She just wanted to be engaged. And there was a few different times that people in my life tried to get me to leave her. My family had an intervention with me. They took me to a park and was like, we are begging you to leave her. You are different. You aren't the same Beck that we used to know. We're worried about you. We just don't think this is a healthy relationship. I was just so depressed at that point. I didn't care about myself. I didn't care about anything. I felt stuck. I felt it's what I deserved. I felt like I had nowhere to go if I were to leave. And there were also times when I would be hanging out with Eric and Ricky playing video games, and Amber would set timers for when I had to be back to hang out with her or do things for her. And I was always spending time with her. It was, just every now and then I would go hang out with Eric and Ricky. And Amber would be invited too, but she would not choose to hang out with us. And then make it a point to set a timer for whenever I had to be back. Yeah, she did keep me from seeing my mom and my family a lot of times. She would try to make me feel guilty. Even though she would be invited to come with me, she would stay home and then purposely, try to give me a time limit when to be back, try to make it to where I didn't go at all by making me feel bad for leaving. And then there were times where she completely forbid me from going, especially when my mom was very sick. Even after we got the vaccines, she still was very hesitant about me going anywhere. But yeah, I did feel like I couldn't see my family as often as I was led to believe at the beginning when she told me to quit my job, that I would be able to see my family more. Would you have taken Rarity and Twinkie, the animals, if I could? Do I miss them? Have you ever seen Amber mistreating them? I would have taken the animals if I could have.
Unfortunately, Amber is stubborn and never would have allowed Beck to take them. We've seen how Twinkie snaps at Amber, how the cats and Twinkie are severely overfed, Twinkie's extremely long nails, and we know she doesn't get walked. But Amber insists all her pets are obsessed with her, so yeah, I doubt she would ever let them leave even if it was for the best.
She has a hard time taking care of herself sometimes. Like, I've struggled with that too. There were times that she wasn't taking care of them, and it would all fall on me. And then there was that one year where I couldn't take care of myself, so I know they probably weren't being taken care of exactly as they should have been. But other than that, they were never hurt.
Okay, next up we have Alexis's fourth Q&A, and it's slightly unhinged.
Hey guys, it's Alexis.
Then her lying that I didn't know Abby, her saying that I knew Abby's 20, a lie.
So Amberlynn said Abby is talking about when I come to visit her. And I said, how many are you meeting? And she said, she sounds so excited, ha 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 ha. And I said, why am I, your best friend, not being visited? But some Bible-thumping 20-year-old is? I'm blocking you and your middle part. And she said, Laddie, because I was in a relationship at the time and I told her to stop calling me daddy. And then I said, enough, because I was so sick of it. Just shut up. But anyways, you would not fly to some random state if you weren't romantically interested in seeing someone. Because I was your supposed best friend and for over a year. And the only time you ever tried to see me was when you needed a ride to Oklahoma and when you were sending me explicit videos trying to talk me out of my drawers over the internet and with Cookiegate.
Honestly, does anyone care about this Abby chick? And Alexis, why are you always so jealous of everyone in Amber's life when you knew this entire time what Amber is like and the things she's been doing behind the scenes, like DV, the things she did to Casey and what she falsely accused him of, and this next example you give us?
Alexis literally paid to find out all of Jordy's information. I'm telling you.
Okay, so first of all, you were terrified that you were being stalked by Jordy or someone that Jordy paid. And that is why you asked me to find the information about him so you could reach out to him and ask him. Secondly, I never paid for anything. Everything that I found online was public phone book websites. And I do have the screenshots of what I sent her, but I don't want to show the screenshots to show what website that I found this information on because I don't want to out Jordy and his public information. But do you know who was there to witness this conversation? Jade was. So you better hope that she continues to want to stay behind closed doors when it comes to you. I'm sure that if she didn't, she would love to confirm everything that I'm saying, including the allegation that you hit her, that you refuse to speak about. You'll talk about other things relating to Jade, but you refuse to touch on the subject where you hit her. So that's really, 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 really interesting, Amberlynn. Also, I just want to add that I don't owe Jade anything. She told you to not talk about her. She never told me to not talk about her. So if you're gonna talk about her, you might as well touch on the subject where you technically committed domestic violence.
This whole video of Alexis's gave me the ick. Why is she laughing after talking about DV? Next, you'll hear her talk about unblocking Amber to tell her she misses her, despite everything she knows about Amber's character and actions. And then she says, and does some things that really just solidify my belief that Alexis is extremely jealous that Amber didn't pick her as a lover. Someone asked Alexis if when she says she loves Amber, does she love her as a friend, lover, girlfriend, in love? And Alexis says all, IDK.
Do I miss Alexis? Yeah. I bet Alexis misses you. Yeah.
So after I saw this, I did unblock her and I did text her because like I do miss her, but I also can miss someone and still not agree with what they're doing and with what they're saying and think that they're not a good friend to me. But like, if you loved me and valued me as much as you proclaim that you do, why wouldn't you just do everything that you could to keep me around when you had me around? Like, I do feel bad that she's sad. I do feel bad that she feels like I betrayed her. I do experience sad emotions when it comes to Amber Lynn. And a lot of people in my comments are like, well, you were friends with her up until this, you were friends with her up until Tommy. Yes, but you guys act like I wasn't saying things behind closed doors. You guys have no idea what we talked about. Me and her were on the phone for 5, 6, 7 hours a day. I felt so bad for her, but at the same time, I was like, dude, but like, you did these things. And yes, I did publicly defend her quite a lot. So she says, I'm in love with someone who genuinely loves me for me. And I said, you're delusional. And she said, why can't you ever just be happy for me? She's never ever done anything to hurt me. She's only made me feel safe and loved. Which is absolutely not true. Do you know how many hours I had to sit on the phone with this girl because she didn't want to be alone, because Tommy was being absolutely awful to her, ignoring her, telling her she doesn't want to talk to her, telling her she misses her ex who has passed away. And in the meantime, responding to people and talking poorly about Amber Lynn to these random people on Instagram. She's literally a psych nurse. She can do it better than anyone. She preys on you because you're vulnerable. And then I said, you are a liar. Every time you get a new girlfriend, I'm on the back burner. Unless her and that girlfriend aren't doing well, and then she's flirting with me, and then she likes me again. You guys genuinely have no idea how much this woman has hurt me. She did not love me. She did not care about me. I was always a second option. Always a second option. And she never prioritized me the way that I prioritized her, and I will stand on that forever. And you can sit there and say that I'm bitter and say this and say that. Maybe I am. Maybe I am bitter. Maybe Amber Lynn should actually love the people that love her. And I did love her. A lot. A lot. Sometimes more than anyone or anything else in my life.
I will say it. I had a crush on Alexis off and on throughout our whole friendship. And I've always been very upfront with that.
I'm sorry, but like, where and when did I ever say that I didn't like you back? I have quite literally shown screenshots in previous videos that stated that I was interested in pursuing something with you. And the only reason why we didn't date, you can tell everybody it was a gut feeling, but you know that it's because I wouldn't let you push me around. Not only push me around, but have me be a yes man to everything that you say and do.
So how are you girls feeling about all of this? Did Beck speaking out leave you with more unanswered questions? Would you support Beck in her fight to get the money they are owed from Amber? Do you think Alexis and Amber should stop fighting through YouTube videos and just keep it personal? Or do you want the videos to keep coming? Let me know down below and I'll see you in the next one.